Welcome to Capital Connections, where the complex world of finance becomes approachable, practical, and ready for your entrepreneurial journey. Hosted by Lorette Ferris, the Capital Coach, a seasoned financial services thought leader who has journeyed through investment banking, mergers and acquisitions, business brokerage, and crowdfunding. This podcast is our way to give back. It's our gateway to help demystify your business growth pillars. Each episode is part of our three-tiered multifaceted business lifecycle journey, training series, growth by acquisition, getting investor ready, and exit on your terms. It all starts with our Capital Navigators blog, where each episode is converted here in Capital Connections for those who choose to listen instead of read. Now, we don't stop there. We dive deeper into each topic through self-paced coaching programs, masterclasses, and mastermind groups, transforming this information into action steps for those seeking more. Speaking directly to solopreneurs, micro to small businesses, transitioning corporate executives, and technicians. Our approach? Simple yet profound. We break down high-level financial concepts into everyday language, making them accessible and actionable. Whether you want to acquire a business, raise capital, or sell your company, plug into our Business Lifecycle Journey series. So, tune in, turn up the volume, and get ready to connect the dots in your financial journey. Let's begin.
The engagement equation. Strategies to connect with potential investors, turning introductions into meaningful interactions. Connecting with potential investors is crucial if you want your startup to succeed, but turning an initial meeting into a meaningful relationship takes finesse. I've seen many entrepreneurs struggle to build an authentic rapport with investors. That's why understanding the engagement equation is crucial for entrepreneurs. If you can lay the groundwork for trust and chemistry, you have a much better chance of securing capital you need to grow your business. In this article, I want to break down the key ingredients of connecting with investors in a way that leads to more than just a financial transaction. I want to equip you with practical strategies to engage potential venture backers. As we explore this topic together, I'll share the insights I've gained over my career about what investors are looking for in an entrepreneur. You'll learn tips for sparking genuine interest and commitment from the people who can help transform your big idea into a thriving company. Whether you're gearing up for your first pitch meeting or looking to take existing relationships to the next level, let's figure out how to authentically connect with the investors you need to make your business dreams a reality. Grasping the investor's mindset. When pitching investors, you need to stand out from the crowd. Your goal isn't just to present another business proposition, it's to show why your startup is the one they can't afford to pass up. The key? Put yourself in the investor's shoes. Understanding what motivates their decisions, what captures their interest, and how they determine value goes beyond customizing your pitch. It's about aligning your vision with their expectations and objectives. When talking to potential backers, think of it as inviting them on a journey that fulfills their aspirations, not just presenting a business plan. For example, an investor passionate about sustainability will see investing in a green tech startup as becoming partners in furthering that mission, not just financing. Connecting with investors should transcend dollars and cents. It's about forging relationships where they understand the personal and professional payoff of working with you is more than financial returns. Though they love the financial returns. If an investor cares deeply about innovative education, show how your AI personalized learning platform aligns with and furthers their philosophy. Building these bonds lays the foundation for enduring partnerships rooted in trust and a mutual commitment to success, which can turn investors into champions who provide capital, mentorship, and strategic guidance. Laying the cornerstone, defining your value proposition. When pitching investors, your value proposition is vital since it isn't just a statement. It's a promise communicating your startup's unique benefits and transformative potential. It answers every investor's critical question: why should I invest in you? So, to grab investors' interest, your proposition must precisely address their core goals. Are they looking for sustainable, long-term growth opportunities? Do they want to fund innovative ventures that challenge the status quo? Make your proposal the perfect answer to what they're strategically seeking. Crafting that winning pitch means deeply understanding prospective backers' needs. What pain points can your business uniquely alleviate? If your target invests in impact, showcase how your clean energy startup advances financial and ethical aims. Back your proposition with hard evidence, market analysis, customer raves, financial forecasts that tells a compelling story. Look at a health diagnostics artificial intelligence startup that made its value proposition sing by positioning itself as a cutting-edge diversity play for portfolios lacking a healthcare tech holding. This showcase of viability spotlights the strategic foresight behind the venture. That's what lays the groundwork for connections with investors that go beyond just dollars and cents to foster genuinely shared ambitions and collaborative success. Cultivating the visibility, strategies for effective networking and introductions. Grabbing investors' attention is a key first step when seeking their involvement. Once your value proposition is tight, the focus becomes getting on their radar. Industry events and conferences are prime spots for connecting with potential backers. These gatherings offer chances for more than handshakes. They're opportunities to share your story, your startup story. Wowing a VC at a green tech conference by showcasing your novel e-waste solution displays both impact-driven mission and market potential. Tapping your existing network is another gold mine. A personal introduction from a mutual contact lends credibility, transferring trust. Imagine a former colleague making a warm intro to an investor, sparking a dialogue where artificial intelligence powered app development process is a standout innovation ripe for investment. Online spaces offer additional exposure. Platforms like LinkedIn and AngelList allow you to engage investor content, share insights, and join discussions, raising your profile as an industry thought leader. Contributing your 2 cents on the next big thing in renewable energy in an AngelList thread, alongside penning LinkedIn articles flaunting your clean energy chops, can prompt interested investors to start a conversation. Weaving these strategies together amplifies your visibility within the spaces and circles where investment capital operates. That drums up the interactions that convert into game-changing partnerships. Investor vetting, conducting comprehensive research. In private equity, the playing field gets leveled through mutual vetting. As entrepreneurs, it's vital to pitch investors and understand their playbook. Start by examining what motivates their decisions. An investor's history of backing biotech and adtech startups signals a passion for revolutionizing healthcare and food systems through innovation. Venture profiles on AngelList can provide granular insights like a tendency towards early revenue, startups ripe for scaling over pre-seed moonshots. Understanding current portfolios shows where time and attention flow. Firms investing via solo funds and syndicates have distinct priorities. For example, a solo healthcare VC may be honed in on digital health and medical device ventures nearing commercialization. That same firm's syndicate may house more tolerance for risk in early stage bioinformatics companies. This intelligence helps tailor your pitch. The digital age has democratized discovering typical allocation sums and frequencies. An impact focused VC recently said she aims for yearly 8-figure checks in women led alt protein startups. Following her on LinkedIn reveals hands-on mentoring of portfolio companies, signaling a close strategic partnership. Effective vetting interprets the narrative behind the numbers through research. It's not just data compilation. When approaching an investor known for multi-million-dollar sustainability bets, you can strategically align conversations with financial and impact narratives. Say their focus areas include renewable energy and micromobility. Highlight how your electric scooter startup will expand clean transit access in urban areas. Essentially, vetting enables crafting pitches that resonate on personal and strategic levels, grounded in research yet presented with capital gain sophistication. Crafting lasting bonds, strategic investor communication. Turning an investor's early interest into a lasting partnership calls for finesse. While solid communication is critical, relevance and brevity should steer your interactions. Personalization matters hugely. An innovation-focused VC would appreciate concise, data-packed product development check-ins over generic newsletters. Take an investor who heads a firm that funds advanced mobility startups. Rather than sending quarterly updates about general operations, tailor communication to highlight prototypes developed, partnerships with research institutions to enhance battery tech, or new hires on the engineering team, which shows you recognize her passion for pushing transportation technology forward. Finding the right frequency and value balance takes some artistry. Providing bi-weekly updates to keep investors apprised of meaningful progress builds confidence. In contrast, over-communicating mundane details bogs them down without adding value. For instance, a startup developing artificial intelligence nutrition software had an advisory call with a lead investor. The investor specified wanting to focus resources on enhancing predictive analytics. Rather than sending inconsequential weekly updates, the startup founder scheduled bi-monthly check-ins highlighting advancements on the analytics front. More powerful data visualization tools increased recommendations accuracy. This focused communication received an enthusiastic response. Transparency builds trust, but restraint focuses it powerfully. Giving adequate insight into operations and objectives provides accountability, while overloading with minutia dilutes focus. An electric jet startup raised capital from investors who cared deeply about sustainable aerospace. During a market downturn, they were transparent about reductions in projected order volumes, but rather than dwelling on problems, they quickly pivoted the conversation to discussing an alternative revenue stream around licensing proprietary battery tech, demonstrating adaptability built in immense investor confidence. Active listening remains the cornerstone. Listen closely to guide communication. An investor once offhandedly asked a startup founder about plans around succession planning and continuity. Though a mundane question, this slight nudge inspired the founder to share news about building an independent board, demonstrating he was receptive to investor priorities and built immense goodwill. This considered, concise, partner-aware communication approach lays the groundwork for relationships transcending capital to become genuine strategic alliances. Sculpting the dialogue with investors. Interacting with investors is another chance to enrich their understanding of your startup's mission and draw them closer to your work. For example, an investor asked about plans for international expansion during your initial pitch. In a thoughtful follow-up message, highlight upcoming trade show trips planned to meet overseas distributors and factory visits to vet potential 3PL logistics partners in target countries. This attentiveness to past questions and tie back to strategic moves can significantly heighten their sense of involvement. Consistent messaging across communication channels will cement your brand identity in investors' minds, nurturing familiarity and trust. For example, a leading DIY furniture e-commerce startup lacked recognition among West Coast investors until targeted content marketing spotlighted its sustainability focus and community ethos, hallmarks of its regional roots and identity. This spotlight on their story and voice consistently cemented the brand's essence for investors. Embrace your role as a thought leader to spark meaningful investor connections. The founder of a human resource tech startup aimed at distributed and contract workforces established authority by contributing columns on remote and flexible work trends in niche SaaS publications, positioning them as an industry seer. Investors look for insights on the independent workforce wave. Jump at opportunities to present at industry events and webinars, seizing speaking engagements to broadcast insights and directly interact with potential backers. Imagine captivating a fintech conference audience with your forward-thinking blockchain payments approach, igniting post-talk conversations with intrigued investors eyeing the Web3 space. Thought leadership is a marathon, not a sprint. It demands commitment and steady output. A payment startup CEO nurtures investor relationships through a steady stream of commentary on emerging retail and e-commerce technologies in expert panels, cementing her as a payment innovation authority. This consistency forges deeper investor connections over time. Nurturing investor conversations, embracing digital platforms. In our digital-first era, maintaining investor relationships has evolved. Platforms like LinkedIn and AngelList aren't just additional channels, they're pivotal arenas to showcase your brand narrative, thought leadership, and industry grasp. LinkedIn is a professional stage where every update, article, and comment enriches your brand story. An artificial intelligence-powered recruiting startup shares posts unveiling new technology partnerships that enable its platform to integrate with leading ATS tools. This sparks inquiries from investors who appreciate the solution's expanding ecosystem. Similarly, AngelList is the central meeting ground for startups and backers, where company updates on $1 million funding closes directly engage that deal seeking community. These platforms offer a strategic edge, broadcasting brand milestones and insights without clogging investors' inboxes. For example, a space tech startup comments on AngelList threads discussing the latest NASA missions rather than cold emailing each investor, efficiently sharing perspectives. This organic visibility eliminates the need for formal phone follow-ups, keeping your business top of mind. Webinars and virtual events also powerfully deepen digital connections. An ag tech startup CEO leads a workshop on emerging gene editing techniques, flaunting expertise to a niche audience, fielding live questions, clarifying regulations, and outlining a vision for sustainable food breakthroughs builds rapport with mission-driven backers. Effectively, leveraging these digital platforms minimizes traditional follow-up needs. It's an integrated approach, ensuring your message consistently resonates, your brand stays visible on the radars of relevant investors, and those relationships grow within spaces tailor-made for dialogue. Deepening investor relationships, blending digital engagement with personal touch. In investor relations, digital tools provide a steady rhythm, keeping both parties engaged. Email updates, social posts, and online events are instrumental in sustaining brand visibility on investors' radars. They're the drumbeat reminding backers of your startup's pulse and promise. For example, an insightful LinkedIn post elucidating a recent challenge and your strategic solution maintains investor mindshare without overwhelming direct communication. Similarly, hosting an industry trends webinar positions your brand as a thought leader, sustaining narrative engagement. However, personal connections still carry the melody in this symphony of digital touchpoints. While online platforms ensure consistent visibility, they cannot wholly replicate the depth of in-person exchanges for forging bonds. Face-to-face conversations and meetings remain irreplaceable through their ability to convey firsthand passion, vision, and conviction. Incorporate strategies facilitating these personal interactions, whether one-on-one meetings, intimate group discussions, or attending shared industry events. Consider a face-to-face where you walk an investor through a product demo, allowing hands-on experience with your innovation. This blend of digital and personal forms the nurturing rhythm, transforming introductions into robust relationships. Digital tools sustain the conversation, but the nuances captured in personal creative chemistry forge the potential into partnership. Persistence in this personalized strategy builds the foundation for lasting investor ties, converting them from spectators into advocates. In conclusion, nurturing investor relationships is a careful dance from introduction to a lasting connection. Digital platforms enable consistent, informative touchpoints that efficiently showcase expertise and keep your brand in mind. However, personal interactions cement bonds in irreplaceable ways. Strategically blending both allows moving from just another option to becoming the chosen investment opportunity. thought leadership, content on LinkedIn, and AngelList spotlights your startup's chops. But the face-to-face conversations and product demos spark conviction and forge trust. By integrating digital visibility that scales with intimate in-person rapport building, brief introductions transition into meaningful relationships that endure. The digital drumbeat keeps your brand on investors' radar. Personal chemistry seals the deal, converting potential into partners.
And that wraps up another enriching episode of Capital Connections. Thank you for joining us this week to navigate the ever-evolving landscape of business and finance. Your journey toward growth and success is our top priority. You can stay connected to our offerings by checking us out at ibossinc.net, subscribing to our Capital Navigators blog, following our company page on LinkedIn, registering for a masterclass, or joining a mastermind group. At Capital Connections, our mission goes beyond simply sharing knowledge. It's about crafting transformative experiences. So, until our next encounter, stay on the path of connecting the dots in your financial journey, and let's continue in our joint journey of growth, innovation, and leadership. Thank you again for tuning in, and see you in the next episode of Capital Connections.